All right, let's get right into it. You hear the term experience economy thrown around all the time, right? But how do you actually build a business around it that can, scale up? Today, we're going to break down the super smart business model behind a company that's totally flipping the script on immersive entertainment. Just imagine this for a second. You've booked that trip of a lifetime to the Galapagos. But before you even pack your bags, you get to step inside this massive dome and dive with sea lions, walk among giant tortoises. It feels like you're already there. And this isn't just some cool gimmick. It's a whole new way of thinking about education and entertainment before a big trip. And here's the thing. This idea is dropping into a market that is just exploding. It's all driven by this huge shift in how we spend our money. We're right in the middle of an immersive gold rush, where people would rather spend money doing something than just buying something. To put a real number on that, the market for this kind of location-based entertainment is set to hit a crazy $12.8 billion by 2025. I mean, just to give you some perspective, that's bigger than the entire global music recording industry. So yeah, this isn't some tiny niche anymore. This is mainstream. And it's not just big, it's growing like crazy. We're talking a compound annual growth rate of over 17%. That kind of speed gets a lot of attention, and it's bringing some really creative business ideas to the table. So let's meet the company at the heart of all this, Origin of Wonder. What are they actually doing in this huge, fast-moving market? Okay, this is the most important part to get. They aren't building their own giant theme parks for you and me to go visit. Nope. They're a B2B company, business to business. They create these amazing dome experiences, and then they license them out to partners, like, say, the tourism board of a country or the owner of a big shopping mall. And the Galapagos is the perfect way to see how this works. They're talking with them right now. And why is it such a great fit? Well, you've got tons of tourists who spend a lot of money, a huge focus on conservation, which their content is perfect for, and a government that's on board. If they pull this off here, imagine the domino effect. The Serengeti, the Great Barrier Reef, the list goes on. And that brings us to the real genius of their strategy. It's what's called an asset-light business model. It's how they plan to grow really, really fast without needing billions of dollars sitting in a bank account. This analogy is just perfect. They're not taking on the massive, massive risk and cost of building the entire theme park themselves. They're just creating the star attraction, the must-see ride, and then licensing it out to all the partners who already have the land, the parking lots, and the people walking by. Okay, so where does the money come from? It's a really clean three-step approach. First, their partner pays a one-time fee to get the dome installed. Simple. Then there's a yearly fee for the content and tech. And finally, and this is the real key, they get a piece of the action, a 30 to 40% cut of every single ticket sold. That way, everyone wants it to be a huge success. And the result of this model? It's all designed for some serious profitability. We're talking about 45% EBITDA margins. Now, EBITDA is basically a way to measure how much cash a business is spinning off from its operations. And let me tell you, a 45% margin is a very, very healthy number in any industry. To really see just how different this is, let's compare it to the other big name in the dome world. This is really a tale of two domes. So on one side, you've got the giant MSG Sphere in Vegas. It's a direct-to-consumer venue built for pure spectacle, and it cost a whopping $2.3 billion. Then you have Origin of Wonder's model, licensing to businesses, focused on education, and costing their partner about $1 million to set up. When you see it like this, it's just wild. That tiny little bar on the left, that's the entire cost for an Origin of Wonder dome. That skyscraper on the right, that's the sphere. You could literally build more than 1,500 Origin of Wonder installations for the price of one sphere. It's just a totally different universe. So if it's that much cheaper, can it actually make good money for their partners? Let's zoom in and break down the numbers for just one of these domes. So like we said, the all-in cost for the partner to get a dome built, installed, and ready to go is around $1 million. And remember, this isn't Origin of Wonder's cash. The partner pays for this. So what does Origin of Wonder get each year? Well, just from their 30 to 40% slice of ticket sales, they're looking at pulling in between $1.35 and $1.8 million every single year from just one location, and they have very few ongoing costs. And here's the clincher. This is the part that makes it a no-brainer for their partners. The payback period on their $1 million investment is just 18 to 24 months. After 2 years, that dome basically becomes a machine that prints money for them. That is an incredibly attractive pitch to make to a real estate developer. Now, with a model this good, you gotta ask, what stops a competitor from just swooping in and copying the whole thing? Well, this is where they've built what's called a competitive moat around the business. Their protection really comes in layers. They're building this huge library of exclusive content, which you can't just whip up overnight. It takes tons of time and money. They're also locking their partners into long 10 to 15-year deals. And by being the first to get into these key markets, they can often secure exclusive rights. And the potential here is enormous. We aren't talking about a dozen possible spots. They see a market of over 500 big gateway cities and more than 2,000 major tourist destinations around the world. I mean, even if they only capture a tiny fraction of that, this becomes a massive, massive company. So it all leaves us with a really interesting question. When we look at the future of immersive entertainment, is it going to be all about these billion-dollar spectacles like the Sphere, or is the real revolution going to come from these smarter, more nimble models, creating these incredible experiences in the places we already go?